Hello viewers and welcome to our preview then of WRC3. We saw the first look earlier in the year, that was positive. Now I've got my hands on a near complete builder. I'm going to bust it wide open and show you all the contents. I'm ready in my WRC shirt, so let's get stuck in, see the options and more. Okay, so let's just take a closer look at the menus and the game that you're going to be seeing in the next couple of weeks then. Pressing start after the intro, many of you will have already seen, knocking about the web, you have the main menu screen here, the WRC Experience, Road to Glory, and Multiplayer. I haven't had a chance to try multiplayer yet. My system is offline at the moment. So let's just take a look first at the options then. We can see the HUD options there, everything you'd expect. You can turn everything on and off. Though personally I tend to leave all the options on. It's helpful for you to see the game in action and to see all the information there. The audio options. Obviously I turn down the music when I'm playing some of these games for recording purposes. And of course then you have the game options as well for driving. And obviously I'm using the advanced option there and using the game on quite a high difficulty. I always like to really fully test it out for you guys. So you can see all the options there depending on whatever level of driving you're at. There's an option there that's going to help you out, and I think that's the way to start. It does make it easier for some people once you turn all the options on. Of course, control options there with the wheels, a couple of things I've altered just for my types of settings, where the handbrake is in particular. I move that to the circle button, and that's the sort of main options menu. So you can see everything you need that sort of function is in there. We've come to expect from standard racing titles. Of course, we have extras, photo gallery. I haven't taken any photos yet because this was recorded on my first time playing. And now into the WRC, into the single stage, and we have single rally and championship options. Now, I haven't done the single rally and championship options yet, but I'm going to come back to the single rally in a later video. And we've got a few more details at the end of this one as well. So we go through all the different stages then in the game. There's lots and lots of stages. So Monte Carlo, that's where you'll be kicking off. Very slippery surfaces of the winter with Sweden. I struggled a little bit on that one. Onto Mexico, complete difference in grip and handling, everything else. Portugal. Much more, well, Portugal's not too bad. It's quite open, easy to get into compared to some of them. Argentina, a lot of shadows and effects there. Different types of textures. We've got the Acropolis Rally, looks great. New Zealand, probably my favourite one just because of the way the texture handles under the car, nice to slide. Finland making a return, remodelled. Germany, Great Britain, much more sort of boggier landscape. France, Italy. That's quite challenging as well, just due to the camber of some of the stages. And of course, finishing in Spain, one of the stages many of you guys have seen throughout the last couple of weeks on the demo. So we have one of the super special stages there. Just looking at the different stages that are available, and you can see varying in length. I did a video that you're going to see of my single stages of I think a 2,000 metre, but there's also these very, very long stages. I don't know how long they are, and I haven't tested them yet, but that's something we'll come back to on a later video. Bit of a Nordschleife there, has to be said. Certainly going to be a challenge. You need to concentrate very hard on what the co-driver is telling you, of course, until many of you memorise these stages, no doubt. And it's something I'll be having a look at. So let's look at the cars now. Obviously, you've got the three classes. The SWRC as well. And of course, when you go into them, just looking at the WRC cars here, you can look at the newly remodelled cars. Certainly, these are far and away better than anything we've seen in the previous WRC titles. You can see there all the details modelled inside, fire extinguisher, roll cage, spare wheel, just in case. Lots of little details around the bonnet grille. Everything else, it really is lovingly rendered this time and looks a lot better. A few of you mentioned about the wheels on the earlier videos. They actually went back and altered the wheels on the car to make them look better. And you can see, reflecting on a lot of the feedback you guys were putting onto my earlier WRC previews, of actually the developers have read that, they've responded to it, and they've worked on it and developed it in a lot of different ways. So there's lots of little details they've picked up on, which has made this game as good as it can be this year. All the drivers are in there from the WRC. I just have a quick flick through, looking at them all now. And of course, any of these cars you can zoom in and take a look at. Very high suspension on the Mini there. It needs it, I have to say. I saw it last year. As many of you will know, I was at the GB Rally last year in the wilderness, standing there. It was a lot of fun though. I was glad to say it wasn't raining in Wales that day, but it was lovely weather. Nice to get up nice and close to the cars. Some people do get a little bit too close in rallying, it has to be said. I'm sure we've all seen some of those videos before. So all WRC cars out of there into the Class 2, and all those cars are in there as well. Obviously it needs to take a second for them to load. Alistair McRae there, that's his car. Go in, take a closer look. All the details you've come to expect. I haven't tested these cars yet, but I will do. I'll be running a career through the entire game and blogging that with you guys so you can see my progress, and hopefully some online races as well eventually. I haven't done online racing for a little while. Class 3. Again, another range of cars. Nicely produced. I like decent car models like this. You know, I admire this kind of detail. You know, we saw it last year in Forza 4, and you can see here again, nice details. You can see how the models have moved forward. I'm controlling this with a little stick on my CSR Elite wheel, just having a little rotate around it. You can zoom in and out of the car with your pedals. I think that's about as far as you can actually zoom in. But nice details. And moving through the rest of the competitors in the series, we have this rather fetching pink car here as well. Certainly not going to miss that one. Power of Powder. They've obviously got a fair few sponsors. So I'll be testing all of these cars out in the coming weeks and months on these videos now. This is a game I'm going to spend some time with this year. And again, nice to look at the details on the different models. Before going through a few of these final competitors. And a quick look now just at the tuning options. People have asked me about tuning options, and you can see here obviously the different suspension, front, rear, gears and body. I've just flicked through this really quickly. I just looked at it all and thought, you know what, I'm not going to muck about with it right now. I don't have time for tuning. But there's also car repairs between stages. I'm going to look at those in just a moment as well. Okay, and so onto the car repairs. You can see here now, I've just done a quick stage, and you can see there the time it takes to fix each part between stages. So if you're doing a single rally, or at least you're doing it on the settings I'm doing it, I have no rewind options available, so I have to protect my car as much as possible, and I can fix it at the end of the stage. This stage I was pretty clean with it, so I hadn't had any major offs or anything, so it's just standard fixing the car up, so it was perfect for round 2. So let's go out now and smash a car up and see what kind of damage we can do and the effect that can have on your rally as well. So you can see smashing the car here. I've intentionally obviously driven off here and there, giving you guys some different angles of smashing the car into different types of sort of walls and surfaces, spinning it into trees, driving over grass, driving up steep hills, whatever I can do to try and wear the car out and inflict some damage upon it. And you can see here from these different replays all of those incidences I've caused within a stage which can inflict damage, and in reality though, you can have one big off and it can inflict a massive amount of damage on the car and break 4 different parts at the same time. So when you're doing a long stage, and especially as we've seen earlier, one of the very long stages that I haven't tested yet, you're bound to pick up a lot of wear and tear on the car. So it's important to take care of it where possible, and you know, if you're going to lose it into a corner, quite often you'll see I tend to brake and try and minimize the damage where possible rather than continue the stage. I mean, it does happen sometimes when you have a lapse in concentration, or sometimes a bump is slightly harder than you're expecting it to be, especially from jumps as well. Do slow down before some jumps. So onto the car repair screen here now. Again, you can see significantly more damage to the car and significantly more time required. So I have 1 hour. It's clearly going to take more like 3 hours to actually repair the car. So you can go through and say, right, well, I'm going to select, I can see the brakes are especially badly damaged there, so I'm going to see if I can fix those, but it's about understanding as well what parts you need and what parts you can go without, you know. So I've not done that here. I mean, but in reality, I'd have needed some new wheels straight away and to sort out the steering, which was all over the place. But there's lots you can do in terms of altering the car, and you also have the auto repair down there as well, which will repair all the areas which are key that they know that you're going to need to best drive the next stage. And generally speaking, I think auto repair is going to be the ideal answer. One button press and it's all done in a second, which saves an awful lot of time. So you can see there all the different amounts of time it takes to fix the different parts. I've only fixed the wheels on one side, so when I start the round in just a moment, the car veers to one side as well, so that makes it virtually impossible to drive in some respects. You can't go quickly, put it that way. Generally speaking though, the best way to do it is to, if you're in that situation, is to make the best of a bad situation and try and get the car to the end of the next stage as cleanly as possible, and then you've got more time to really put all the repairs on. So if it does get damaged early on, that's something you can consider. So that's a quick look at some of the key gaming options. Okay, so we've seen all the options and a lot of what the game has to offer there. Of course, I've been busy filming an extensive range of videos. You can see a range of those clips here going on testing out all the different circuits and stages and everything else that's in the game. So it really is a considerable package. Of course, here are all the rallies now you can see. These all link to a single stage from each rally, so you can get a sample of each one now. Of course, the rallies all consist of the 6 stages and some with the super special stage as well, and I'll be making videos on those later. But in the meantime, you've got all these videos here, link to those, check them out. Once you're in the video, you can also select which viewpoint you'd like to see the rally from. Now, the main one is going to obviously have my commentary, and the others will be no comment runs, but you can get a feel for some of the stages, what they're going to be like, and see the range of car handling that's available there. And it's very different depending on the surface. Some will appear to be very quick, some a lot slower, especially in, say, stages such as the Great Britain, which is very boggy, and you'll see the difference between the tarmac and the wet weather and the impact that has as well. So lots to see in those videos. Do click on those links, and the videos, of course, there's 18 videos in total that have just come up today. We're going to have lots more in the next few weeks. We're going to be looking at super special stages, how to tune the car. We're going to look at damage, crashes. I'm going to be blogging my way through the game as well. So a huge content blowout on this WRC3. Certainly it's a positive step forward, and it's great for Milestone. I hope that they can build on this again next year as well and bring many more fans back to the world of rally, because it really needs a lot more support. Rally is is a sport of champions. It's an incredible thing, and the drivers are all fantastic, and this is a game which is worthy of that title as well. So lots to come on that from me. Check out those links, and as ever, more soon.